The class will now execute an optimal near-term investment session. The data from this session will provide the most optimal stock, company, or product that one can invest in for the highest short-term profits. Also remember that an optimal near-term investment changes frequently, since there can only be one at any given point in time. Therefore, the optimal near-term investment that the Level 4 class obtained has already changed many times since the taping of the class. Though we do not promote the use of remote viewing for profit, this is yet another example how remote viewing can answer any question you have, no matter the subject or the goal.
I think a suggestion for a next target would be optimum near-term investment. Now you could append it with your the reason I like to do it without prefixing it with your own name is because everybody will come up with the same investment, which is optimum. That may not mean that you have the resources to buy into it, but it will still be the best. Collective will say, "Oh, glad you asked. This is it," and it's an easy target. It's so easy, but it's still an unknown, right? I'm not going to front load you with possibility with what it might be, because it might not be any of those at this juncture. But I think it would be a good target because it's so easy to analyze. Investment is adjudicated by the matrix as money. We know that. As opposed to treasure. Treasure is not necessarily gold, silver, or whatever. That could be a book somewhere, knowledge that you need to know, that kind of thing, a treasure. I'll gin up target reference numbers in the queue, and we'll look at, from this point in time, optimum near-term investment and see what the matrix drops down. Whatever that will be the same thing. The matrix will say, okay, on the cross level, this is the optimum near-term investment. It could be llamas or a llama farm, we don't know. So on this particular queue, there can only be one. This is the nice thing about this. Optimum is a superlative. The most, the best, the next. It's a superlative. Actually, next isn't a superlative. But optimum and most, largest, right? Earth, Jurassic Earth, largest land-dwelling creature. It can only be one. Now, you may pick it up in different stages of its development, but it's going to be the same one. Everybody will get the same one. So optimum near-term investment. Optimum means the optimum. There's only going to be one. So those of you who get something other than what everybody else gets, you're wrong. I got to tell you that up front. If you're picking up something as an individual viewer that is not what the consensus has, then you screwed up. Now, don't put your name. Just put optimum. If you put your name, it will probably not be what everybody else gets. More than likely, it won't be. Optimum near-term investment for you, for instance, might be the house that's down the street that's up for sale. And the best investment for you would be that because it's available to you, and someone's going to give it to you at a good price, and you can turn around and resell it right away. Whereas that's if you put your name as a prefix. Here, it's global in nature. So easy target, guys, if you stay in structure. Keep your mind out of this, and you'll have the right answer. No thinking aloud here. Just click, 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 click. Don't get one stage two term and say, oh, look at that, it must be. Don't do it. Just keep on trucking, and you'll get it right. You won't know what it is until the idea template. You won't know what this is until you finish the idea template. Anything prior to that is going to be the wrong answer. Any conclusion that you draw prior to the construction of a site template is going to be the wrong one. Take it from me. You've got to go all the way on this. Analysis will be easy, however, on this one.
The class is now executing the optimal near-term investment session.
How many of you got a big circular thing? Just one big circular thing, raise your hands. Dr. Wallace, you had a face on a circular thing, correct? What is that, pottery? What is it?
It's a logo, I think.
And what in your guess, it's a logo, okay? It might be something else. Those are the rest of you who got circular things. What did you get, Marilyn? What was yours? It looks like a mountain range too. But you know what? I could take your sketch, Marilyn, and I could show your stage 6 to somebody and say, "Do you know what this is?" And they would all say the same thing, "Yes." But you don't. You know why? You're bilocating. You're so close. Your nose is so close to the grindstone, you can't see the forest for the trees, because this act of remote viewing is not an analytical act. You did exactly what you were told to do. You stayed in structure and you sketched whatever it was, which was the answer to that question. But analysis, what I'm asking you to do now, which is not fair because you're still in a right brain mode, right? Analysis is a left brain, which reinforces the idea that we talked about in level 1 and 2 workshop. Don't try to analyze your work as soon as you finish it. But it's funny the way this is, because if I showed anybody a couple of sketches in here, like Marilyn's, for instance, as an example, they would say, "Oh, that's a," but you can't see it. Is that clear? So that's a coin, Marilyn. That's a coin. Dr. Wallace, that's a coin with a face on it. It's a coin, and that face that you have on it is the face on a coin. That kind of thing there, too. When I said everybody would get the same thing, generally speaking, there's a number of different variations on the theme of optimum, but not that many. So generally, I would suggest that you get up and walk around and look at your fellows, your classmates' work, and come to a consensus about what may be the optimum investment, at least from this point in time, near term. Some of you, in your face, coins. Now, the coins are interesting. You could identify exactly what coins. Are they just, what color is your coin, Dr. Wallace? Huh? Yellow. What color is your coin? If that's a coin, Marilyn, and you didn't know that, anybody else would by looking at it. What color is that? Gold.
It's apparent that the class has obtained the metal gold as the optimal near-term investment. As displayed in this chart, gold moved from $399 per ounce to a high of $419 per ounce for the 4 weeks following the execution of the optimal near-term investment cue used in the class. Investors of this commodity received a 300% return over margin in the futures market over that time period, thereby making it truly the most optimal near-term investment within the stock and futures market during that time frame. Remember, though, as the market changes, the optimal near-term investment will change. By running this cue daily, it's possible to always have your funds in the optimal current investment. When the answer changes, your current investment is no longer optimal and should be placed in the new investment vehicle. To personalize the cue, you will need to place your name in front of the cue.